Hey, welcome back. This is Tom, and I'm your host here on Beautiful Ashes. So now we're trying out for the first time an actual video. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. As always, be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do I look like my picture, or what is it? What other comments do you have? Seriously, I want to know them. Now, for today, I want to talk about. Okay, it isn't just about talking about myself, but for today, I want to talk about something, and that is who your audience is. Now, over this journey, over the past few episodes, we've been talking about a few things here. We've covered about you, the aspect that pertains to who you are, especially in this journey. And when it comes to actually starting your expert business, the second thing we talked about is the marketplace, how to actually find out the biggest elephant in the room or the problem in the niche that you're currently serving that you are going to actually go out of your way and actually help them achieve their goals and whatever. So for today, I want to talk about, as you noticed, the past episodes have been a lot about motivational stuff, I guess, or kind of breaking the different mindset barriers that may stand in the way of you actually making any kind of progress with this journey. But for today, I want to talk about something very important, and that is your audience. At the end of the day, whatever content you produce or whatever kind of, whether you decide to do a blog post or a YouTube channel or whatever it is, you're actually going to be speaking to a certain kind of person that is online. And now, who is this kind of person? So that is what we're talking about when we say, who is your dream customer or who is your audience? Now, one of the things that I learned is, one of the things that I'm planning to doing on this channel or this show is that the person that I'm mainly speaking to is somebody who was where I was a few years ago, and I highly recommend that you do the same thing. Number one is because you already know who they are. Now, the reason why I can actually talk to these things and actually walk you guys through some of these things is because I was where you were a few years ago, a few months to a few years ago. And even though I'm starting back from scratch, it really isn't from scratch, it's from experience. And I can be able to share some of the things that I'm going through, even on this journey. And that way I can be able to actually relate with you guys, even as you go on this journey. And so you realize when I talk about the person you're supposed to target, focus mostly on who your audience is. And that is the person that you were a few years ago. That is the main person that you're called to serve. And if you're able to actually talk to them, have you ever had, just to give you an example, have you ever talked to somebody who can actually relate to your problems, whereby when you speak to this person and you can actually, the things that they say actually resonates with what you're going through in that particular situation, in that particular criteria or kind of environment? And that is what we want here. That is why the audience needs to be somebody who was where you are a few years ago. Now, where you can be, when you speak to them, you can be able to relate to the challenges they're going through. And even as you share your own challenges, they can be able to relate to them when they get there. And so you realize, like, some of the things that I thought maybe you guys have been having the same kind of issues, whereby you thought maybe you needed money to start start a business, whereby by now you should know you don't need money. You can actually just do it. Maybe you thought you know how to deal with frustrations that come up when it comes to business and whatnot. And so, as it is so far, you kind of realize that you actually don't need that much to actually get started. And as it is, you actually realize that you actually have everything that you need to get started. And so this is the whole idea that I'm trying to get across here. And so the whole point here is the person that you're going to be serving, the audience you're going to call to serve is somebody who was where you are a few months or a few years ago. So I'll give you an example. Think about it like, let's say you decided to become a senior accountant. Now, as a senior accountant, you know a lot about accounting, so to speak. And in terms of career-wise, you're a bit ahead when it comes to career progression. So you've gotten, you went from being a fresh graduate, or let's just moving back further, you went from being in high school, then you became a fresh graduate, then you became like a junior accountant or a trainee accountant, then a junior accountant, and then finally became a senior accountant. So assuming that is kind of like the progression that people go through when it comes to actually going up in your careers. I've never worked in corporate, so I have zero idea on that one. But anyway, the point here is, even as you go through this journey, you find that the person that you can actually relate best to is a person who's actually behind you. And so if you're a senior accountant, you can be able to address a junior accountant, and you can actually train them and teach them the ropes even as they learn. If you're a junior accountant, you can actually train the trainee accountant. You can actually teach them the ropes of the business and what is required of them to actually succeed in their job. If you're a trainee accountant, you can actually teach a fresh graduate, but at least you have some hands-on experience working in an accounting firm. And so it's kind of the same kind of logic here. So whereby if you're in the fourth, if you're a senior in high school, that is you're the last year to finish high school, you'd actually be more suited to teach someone who's actually behind you, whereby you can actually go to the person who's actually behind you and actually teach them a class. I remember even in my high school days, I had a problem with Kiswahili, and so I don't know if this or there's a teacher actually doing it or the reason why this happened, but one of the guys who actually finished before us, he was a year ahead of us, but whereby he graduated ahead of us. And so one of those guys actually came back and actually taught us Swahili. Or Swahili. Anyway, I in Kenya call it Kiswahili, but you can just call it Swahili. And so I really sucked at Kiswahili, but that guy came in and then actually taught us Kiswahili for a full year and actually helped me get at least a passing grade. It was a B, but anyway, I didn't used to get any kind of grade like that. But anyway, the point is, in my eyes, this guy was an expert. His Swahili was so good, even though he hadn't even done Bachelor of Education in Swahili, or he hadn't actually studied Swahili yet. I don't know whether he went out to do it, but even though he was yet to study it, he was actually the one who was actually teaching me, and I was able to understand it. And so it's the same kind of concept here. Your audience is the person who you were a few months ago, and that is the right person for you to teach, because guess what? You understand them because you were there. And so by way of having gone through what they're going through right now, you can actually be able to relate with them, and you can actually share stories and even connect with them on a human, on a person to person, on a human level. That way they can actually be able to relate with your stories and actually be able to help them out. And so, yeah, that's pretty much the audience that I'm targeting here. And so for me, I have a couple of audiences here. One is people who have actually never started anything. And so if that is you probably realize you're starting a business is probably what is going on. And that one is going to come up a bit later on, whereby I've had experience as a freelancer offering services online. And so, yeah, so that's going to be somebody else that I'm going to be targeting a bit later on. But for now, let's just start here, because that way I'm sharing the journey even as I'm going through it. That way, a few years from now or a few months from now, even as you come to this channel, actually watch this episode, you can actually be able to relate with what I'm going through and actually help you get over some of those hurdles and obstacles that are standing in the way of you actually making something of yourself. And so, yeah, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much. And as always, this is my first video. I've said that multiple times already. So seriously, I want to know what you guys think on the comment section below. How do I look? I don't know. I did my best to actually clean up a little bit. That's not my usual style. But anyway, yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, be sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And see you on the next episode. Bye.